Measurements. We got P. Let's go with like pixels here. This is like 8. So 8 squared is what I would consider a square unit. So we got 8 pixels across. Don't care about that. Now we have them squared. So now we have them by here and by here, also known as 64. So every single square unit for a texture is at minimum 64. Like a crop, or like not 60, it's 64 in total, but remember it's 8 by 8. It's not 64 by 64, it's 8 by 8. So that means every single grid space is 8 by 8. Then we got cubed. So it's like a cube of 3D space. The cube is 8 by 8 by 8. Like, that would make sense, right? And what it is 8 by 8 of these squared units, which might not reflect like accurately in this, but it is 8 by 8 of these squared units. So what that looks like, if I go into Blender here, and I just, I don't know, I add a mesh cube. All right, size. Stop that. Stop that, you boger. You bubber, you bogerhead. All right. Frickin' get over here. All right. Got a cube. Dimensions. Make that 8 by 8 by 8. All right. This is what this looks like. 8 by 8 by 8. It's in the middle, but like I could just, because I have snap to grids, I could just take that and I could just make it there. I've also made the grid sizes in Blender reflect this. No. I've made the grid sizes in Blender. Use this. It's based off of a file that I have everything set up just how I like it. So here, there'd be this cube. This is what it looks like. This also works for Godot, which is just, by default, it's 8 by 8 by 8. So this is about the size I'm working with. So you take this, you take it like times, frickin' Z, this isn't gonna do it like how I want to do it, is it? Okay, no, it is Z, okay. Alright, cool. To take Z, I make it 24. Now, this is 3 high. What I've noticed when playing with, like, Minecraft and playing with other people is that people usually build interiors at 3 blocks high. That's how they like it. This door would have a top to it that's a bit smaller, but I will get to that in the meantime. I will get to this. In the meantime, I'll get to it. So I'm just gonna go and take this and just put it to the side here. Yeah. And I think I'm going to take a... Can I duplicate this? Nothing is easier, huh? Wait, I can duplicate objects. Okay. Nice. I don't know why it was being so weird there for a second. I'm going to duplicate one more time. Duplicate. Okay. Right. Gonna make this smaller. Oh, what would it be? It would be, I don't know. I'm just gonna skip forward on this. What is that? That's good. That's gross. Oh shit. It's kind of nasty to be honest. It's 5. Gross. Make this 4. Oh, what is 24 plus 6? 8. No, it's 5, right? What the hell is this? It's 4. It's 4. It's 4. Okay, it's 4, right? I don't know what was wrong with me there for a second. 8 by 8 by 4. 4 is pretty nice. Okay, so I have 3 times the cube. I also have this neat little slab, which is 8 by 8 by 4. This is, a half cube, right? Nice little half cube. As you can see, the door frame fits in here, but I would also need a door, right? So I'd need a door to be in here. This is definitely how, like, Minecraft would have it look. But enough about that. I don't understand why the sides of this door also have this weird, I don't know why they have this weird effect like this that makes me a little uncomfy. I think it has something to do with, like, shade smooth, which I don't like. Shade smooth, shade auto smooth, or shade flat. Shade flat. I don't know why it's doing keep sharp edges. Don't remove sharp edges, which are redundant with face shaded smooth. Right. So anyway, I will get back to this, explaining this in a bit. All right. Now, the point here is not to be accurate to the real world. The point is to have something that works very well without seeming too unrealistic. Something that can be built quickly and will be as optimized as I possibly can make it. So this is not how the walls would be. The walls would be resized. Now, if I resize these things down, something gross happens. Ew, what is it? Ew, ew, ew. On both sides, why does it do that? I don't like this personally. Which means I have a sneakier method to do this. I'm going into edit mode, okay. I take this side, and I reduce the sin. I can make this orthographic, make it look to the top of this thing. I can make it pure like this, which is what I want to do. And I can reduce this down to 2. This is how I like my walls to be. This is something I was thinking about in college and like obsess over. No. Okay. Here we go. I selected it. Why is it not? That sucks. Because the edit mode is about here. Okay. Now I've selected it in the way that Blender particularly likes. I'm going to go hit 7 again. And I'm going to reduce this down. That's the door frame up top. And may do that. With this cube, I'm going to select it in the way that Blender particularly likes particularly. And I'm going to do this. I get that this makes sense because sometimes you want to reference other objects to other objects, like for the union that I originally created for this door. I'll do it like that. So this is how I have the walls set up. Now, this is kind of like how this would work, to where this would be, each of these walls would be functioning like this. It would be 8 by 24. Now remember, 8, or each of these squares, is 8 by 8. This creates a total of 64 across as the minimum size, and these pixels are just used in their pure cyan, blue, red, green, yellow forms here, just to help out the file size, because this is tiny little test texture and doesn't matter. The green here would be the actual texture of the door, because each of these on the sides if you see here, are a half. They're a half to create the door frame, and the top is a full unit, creating a more realistic looking door within the constraints of this measurement. It took me actual years to come up with this before I actually got my hands on this nice computer and figured out how to use Blender. So this has been a long time in the making. This is kind of like my pride and joy. Actually, this is kind of like one of my most proudest things like ever, is coming up with this. As something that hopefully anybody will be able to use to create brilliant stuff. I just want the credit. That's what I would want. Nice. Anyway, so this total thing is like the size of a wall, but I'm not going to worry about that. This is the size of a door. Reduced by a unit on both sides, moved over because it's not possible this way. And then, you know, this is how it would be. So it would be 7 by 19. It would be 7 by 19 times 8 on both of those. And that's how you get the size of the texture. Looking at this door here, at what is like the average size of doors in like America, I saw 80 by 32, and kind of a light bulb moment went off. And then I saw like, okay, that's about a square. So resting right on top is about where the handle would be. It could be this little bit and a lock. It could be both of them together and have like a doorknob that's round in the middle. It's okay. This might change, but I don't think so. So this is just going to be the basic like wood of the door. And then on top is another like portion of it here. This is going to be the size of what the top is because the door is only going to be 1 unit thick. This is going to come in handy later. So the side of the door is going to be this size, like folded in. And then, well, like I guess kind of like minus this top part here. And this bit is going to be like this. I guess I don't really need to have this. This is kind of pointless right up here. So I can go ahead and not use that, like, go ahead and add that there. I'm kind of like first time showing this out. I think what I'm going to do is for, I don't know, call it tism reasons, make that yellow, and then make the top here red because that makes purple. It's cool with me. So, hey, like yellow like brass or something like that. So I have the top here. I have the side, and this would like fold in, but also this would work on like both sides. Now this could have in the middle the other side of the latch of the door, but I might not be that too crazy about it. I might not be too crazy about like the latch of the door part. It could be its own little model stuck on, but probably not. This is just to remember where the door's handle would be. And it might just be made like black on a texture because a model might be placed over it with the handle going in somewhat. And this is some redundant space up here because this is what's going to make it 8 by 24. It's not exactly the perfect numbers that you hear about stuff. There'll be 8 by 16, but that wouldn't work with this 32 by 80 reduced to 8 by 20 thing. Yeah, I'm trying to keep the X before the Y here. So, this could be kind of some fun space for some little other details or this and that. Some other space to have the texture for the doorknob or something like that, whatever I want to do. And I think this is a good system anyone can use. As 8 by, how do I put it, like, the player is supposed to be like 8 by 16, but would be more like reduced to about 7 by 15 to go through the door and still have some gap above the head for like hats and other stuff like that. So it'd be more like this range here. And so this should help with making the texture what is to be made here. Oh, and for the door frame sides, since the jeez, so my spot. I gotta edit that out. Since the door frame here is going to be half on either side, that means the minimum would be more like 4 instead of 8, but it will still fit like pixel perfect. Yeah. And for the sides of these, I have them be half. Sorry, but for the sides of the door, I have them be hollow because they're going to be up against walls, so they're not going to be seen. That also works for the bottom too. And for windows, they're basically just going to be squares, but they are going to be 1 as well. They're going to be halved as well. But for windows, 1/2 is going to be over this way, and the other half is going to be, my bad. The other half is going to be this way, or no, it's not that. This way, so that on the inside, it can lift up above the window. That's where the window frame parts are going to be. So it's lifted up. And they're all going to be 1/2 around. So that you can pick them up and they will be hollow on the sides, and their top and bottom window frames will be visible, since that's how you'll like see them. But I'm trying to cut out unnecessary geometry. That way you have these square like windows, pretty standard windows, like 2-pane windows, and you lift them up. You lift those suckers up, and they will be able to slide over each other given the space, while having about the same space as the other side. Now, also I want to mention, when mapping things out, each of these squares is going to be like 1 pixel. So a wall would be like this size. I guess I didn't need to do that, but it would be just this size would be a wall from a map making perspective. Because pixels are easy to draw, this means that a wall can be drawn like this that quickly. There's 1 wall. Draw it across, put a wall in. Use GIMP for its ability to have custom grids, smaller and larger, like thicker grid spaces, and bam. You can make a map out of that for the whole level. Then it's just a matter of taking that image, putting it into Godot, putting it underneath of the grid that you're working on, and by painting the walls essentially like on top of the grid. You could probably also sketch it out by just drawing like 3-dimensional shapes, maybe in Blender over, or maybe in there just over your layout, taking all of their tops and just lifting them up by 24 and just see how that feels. But I haven't really tested that out yet. So this means everything will have an accurate measurement, and different layers to an image that can be found in GIMP can just represent different floors. They don't have to be as complicated as each cube unit, but they can be that too, if there's a lot of half walls that are going to be used. But they could just represent different floors to a building, or they can be on the same image. I really don't care. But this is something that will just be super fast and efficient. Like, I can just draw the walls across, boom, pixels, there you go. There's the walls, different colors for objects, stuff like that. Notes, little here and there. Easy peasy. You could take an image and make it super big so that you can write text over it. Or you could just have different colors mean different things, even down to the RGB value or hex value if you want to be particular about it. That way you have all these shades of blue, but like, no, guys, it represents many different things. You gotta look at the hex value for that, or who cares, right? So yeah, that's how like the measurement would work. So I would have like width 8 by 24 and make it like a new image. And then have like the windows be um about like here, and then like here. Maybe they would be like up above, but they could also have like they could also be placed differently. I'd have to see about like where windows are placed in a door, because I know they have like a little bit of ceiling above them, but it's not much. Not much ceiling above them. That's how they would work. And they could be moved around differently. I figure since the door touches the bottom, I might have them touch the top, but it's just a matter of moving them around here and there, depending on what you want them to be on, where you want them to be spaced at. But once this is figured out, because I haven't figured out this part, the windows are kind of difficult to figure out, then finally this long-running measurement thing obsession will be complete. I originally had it by 10, because I was working with Unity, but that has changed much for the better. So yeah, that'd be that. That would be that, yeah. And you'd be able to figure out how the windows work. I'm going to keep figuring out more about this, and then I will have everything set for 3D building, which is not going to happen for a while, but I at least like to have this sorted out. I'm going to work on 2D just to like pad the time while I'm still learning 3D. So that should be nice. Or I make a huge mistake, I don't know. But I want to get something done kind of fast right now. So anyways, as it turns out, the door frame is pointless. It's pointless geometry to have the other side, so I guess it would just be an image for this side, that side, and then the top. And that would be the frame texture. Nothing on the sides. It's probably just going to be the same, two sides of the same texture. And that might be it. It might just be that blank of a texture. Like in the middle, it'll just be like whatever. It could just be as simple as that. I'd have to see. So yeah, there'd be the texture. There'd be the size of it. There'd be the whatever. Neat. I am a little worried that some of the faces might be inside out. I don't know. Everything seems to be fine with this so far. I am gonna go ahead and Control A, apply location, rotation, and scale. So everything is zeroed out. This is as it should be. And yeah, I'll just convert this over to Godot at some point and see if the faces are inside out. They shouldn't be, but I never really quite know. By the way, I should mention that walls are like this, except for a difference in between them, in order to make them have a nice corner to them without like jamming into each other and having Z fighting. They are changed to a 45-degree angle at the edges, so that when the walls are put together, they will be perfectly put together, kind of like trim on your wall with this diagonal space. This diagonal space will be reduced on one wall's texture by just having the full 8x24 texture have the full side connected to it over the whole image, and then the other side, I'll take a look at how the model is set up and like which side's corner is cut, and I'll just have the UV map island meet that side. So it'll look like two islands put over each other, two just because everything else is removed, so you only see the front back, because ceilings, other walls, nothing on the bottom, etc. And basically just keep the same image, but on the one side it'll be a little shorter. This also means that the wall that will connect to it on the other side will have the reverse of this, so that there will be these wall segments that will have an accurate texture on both sides. Once this building system is like fully complete, it's like, hey, here's a thing to get you started that is like the day moon Nightwalker methods. So there you go. There's that. Cool for you, right? So the walls is kind of like this. Hold up. Mark Sharp. I'm going to need to go through everything and go through Mark Sharp, because if it's decided to arbitrarily change these, I don't know what the heck it is doing. I don't know why it's trying to shade smooth. I'll figure that out later. This is wall C. C as in corner. CL and CR would be the right or left. So this would have two walls on the corner of it. You'd be able to see the front, the back, and the top is used just to help me out make sure that nothing is upside down. Once I know that nothing is upside down, I'm going to remove the top as well. So, assuming that there's some edges there, this would be 45 degrees. It would be diagonal exactly. Because the walls are too thick, they are too inset on these either side. This means that one side would have the full texture, and the other side would have a reduction of 2 units on both sides. Or either or for the other corners. And a middle section of wall doesn't have any of that. So they could all use the same material, and also the front and back could be different depending on whether if I have two textures next to each other, so I'd have like 16x24 units. And that way I can have one or the other. Still, the same rule applies to what to make for these walls. Yippee. with microphone audio this time. Yeah, this is looking much better based off of just a cylinder. Just a cylinder that was stretched out, much less polys, much simpler builds. Much more simple. I should have been thinking gun, tube, cylinder. I should have been thinking about that kind of thing. I'm not sure if just one side or whether if stretching the entire other side would have been good, but this is what like uh the spring would be. I think there'd be a spring inside of that. I've taken an M4 apart before, but I've never taken an M16 apart, and I just kind of assume that they're kind of just the same. An M4 just seems to be an upgraded M16 that jams less, but still jams a lot. Hmm, but that's not the ring part. That's not. It's not the ring part though. That's not good. Yeah, I'm trying to keep that ring part for the handguards uh working well. Yeah, I mean so far that's pretty alright. I might just kind of go with it. Or I might like try and expand the whole loop. I could try and do that. Stretch out the whole loop instead of just the sides. That looks wonky. No. Alright, that seems to have worked very well. It's a little hairy still, but that seems to have gone like much better. Yeah, it seems to have worked like much better. I'm gonna try to not make as many edge loops this time. See if I can just, yeah, make like one in the center here. Seems like faces can only have like 3 or 4 points if they're not like octagons, like special faces or something like that. Yeah, my plan in this is to like align that there. Take this and like align it here. Ah, and then I take this one and I align it not exactly like there, but I guess I go like half-ish. What if I put it in that corner right there? Well, that turned out to be pretty good. Now I just need to, yeah. Can I take that to there? Can I hit J? And I don't think it worked like I hoped it would. I don't think it I don't think it nope, it did. It did exactly what it should. Dang. It did exactly what it should. Wow. I've been pressing F this entire time. And I should have been pressing J. My bad. Oh, I'll figure it out. Having a little bit of fun with XL, X, and then L for that limited dissolve. As long as I have 4 points, it's cool. Bam. Yeah, it seems to go straight up and then it angles. It does go straight up and then it angles. I'll need to fix, I need to fix one of these then. Yeah, with the shape of with the thing, I have it at the bend, but it's like hole goes further down from that. Well, that's kind of what that is. So here to here to here. Yeah, I think it's fine now. Yeah, sure. It wants to be on that side. I'm cool with that. I have to find the dots that match. So now what I can do is I can just hit bridge faces, and that makes the hole. There we go. All right, well, what if I dissolve something that absolutely has to... Yeah, if I dissolve this edge right here, it would just make one of those impossible faces. So I don't want to do that. Hmm. But I did learn a few things. Nope. This way. Yeah. Um, yeah, I learned a few things. Holy freaking heck, I'm going insane. Blender, holy hell, dude. What the these together? I think it would probably be better, yeah, to XL that shape, and then to XL that. And that would probably be best just to leave it like that. That would probably be better to do. Because the lighting, I gotta think about these lines and the form of like lighting and where the lighting might also kind of bend around it. Luckily I can see what is directly upwards on my screen because I can visibly see the pixels, so that helps. That helps me, I guess. No, okay, that's not what I wanted to. No. One? No, it can't. 1.1? No. Can it be 1.01? No. 1.05. That's better. It's better, I guess. It's better, I guess. Um, what is this one at? Yeah, I can do that. Um, yeah, sure. Yeah, I could make it like that. Okay, so that's 1.01 on the X. So then I go and I hit this, 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 this. Basically just, I guess I could hit the entire like edge loop. What if I just hit the, yeah, and then I guess joining them would have been better, right? Maybe. Um, um, you XL. All right. Maybe when I'm finally doing the joining, I need to like hit join. All right, so that the faces are now like separate. Now they're considered the same. Okay. All right. Now I have a real edge loop. No issues, no problems. Um, except it is a little weird that it doesn't. Yeah, it loops around there. It doesn't continue around the other spots, right? Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. That's what I want. Moment of truth here. Can I take all of this? Like all these little dots. Gonna make them all 1.11. No, that's not what that does. Mean bevel weight, mean vertex crease, mean vertex, mean crease. Median point, right. It's not just gonna let me, like, select all of those and then do the same motion. How do I change lots of vertexes points at once so I can change all of their x value to, like, line up with each other? I'm sure there's a way to do this. I need them just to line up. I'm gonna figure it out. That's at the triple onesies. Because it makes these weird decimals and stuff for it. I don't understand why it does that. I guess it makes more sense in local. Maybe. But here it's just bam. And then like it'll work like that, but then it like it's like they already have to be apart from each other in some way. I don't understand why it doesn't just move the whole thing. Like, alright, maybe I'll try this box method. Right, alright. 1.11. See, that doesn't work like that. Why does it do that? But why? But why does it do that? See, it straightens those out. Does it? Is there like a limit to it? See, it liked those, but then it... How did it do that? It's okay with those, but then it's not okay with the other thing. But like, why? But like, why though? I don't understand. Is there like a limit to it? It just feels fake. I want to get rid of these weird freaking creases and crap. See, this, it's fine with this. Okay, so it can't be the beginning and the end. It has to be somewhere in the middle. It needs, like, reference points. I think that's what it needs. It didn't like that it was the top ones, too. That's not what I wanted to do. Yeah, like 1.4. Because that creates the curve in there, yeah. Yeah, that done does that. I'm gonna try center. I'm gonna try it. Chill, dude. What is this? Does it only do increments when you're in this, like, in this mode here? Like, what? What is this? I mean, in a weird way, it did fix it. Cool. It would be hard to take, like, all of the faces of something and, like, fix them. Negative 0.05 and then 0.0. The other thing could be that 0.05, but like positive. Yeah, that seems to have fixed it. I mean, it's a little weird in that shape. It's a little odd there, but that seems to have fixed it from a lot of its weirdness, and it moved it all along together. So that's cool. This is like, it's like paper thin. Well, that looks like it's crushed in. That looks like it's beveled out, which is really what that ring looks like. See, like, why does it add this bizarre stuff? Like, I don't understand why it keeps doing this. It keeps, dude, jeez. Closest grid. Thank you. Wild. Yeah, so like once it's made like thin, I can like stretch it out, like I can inflate it. And that should make stuff work. This definitely works a lot better when it's like inflated like this. Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure, do that. Zero 0.5, yeah, that's a good number. And like what? It flexes to become huge. Like what's the deal? But like it has its handguards are not round. Their handguards are like it's weird is what it is. Although I think that the ring is like round itself. I think that that part is round. 1.6. Yes. Yes. And then there's some kerfuffle there. It's 0 0.5, right? It just doesn't. 0 0.45. Well, this got all messed up. No. Oh, in enlarging it, I have to move it too. Oh. Okay, the handguard's fixed. Yikes. Okay, maybe I do want to vertex color some of this stuff. I mean, that's what's going to appear in like testing stuff for a game. I wouldn't even need a texture stuff. I could just vertex paint it. That's probably for the best. It's probably what I'd want to do. Vertex paint stuff. Oh, just like paint different faces. Yeah, paint the faces. I've seen people do that. They paint faces different colors. I think I'm going to do that. I kind of don't want a material file though. Hold up. Let me just quickly, no, rotate. Scale. Yeah. No. Scale that by about half. Yeah. Yeah, why does it need to be divided there? Oh, so it can have this line appear? Yeah, so it can have that line appear. Ah. Yeah, no, actually. Is this not... It looks like it's not actually connecting up to that line. Or like it's doing fine without it. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, if that was just a slope without that little round bit, yeah, if it weren't for that, if it just connected that to that, I don't know, like it could work. at least this and control, yeah, or this need to be joined. Like, at the very least, I need to do that. This and this need to be joined. Well, huh. And then that's just floating out in space? Like, what is that? Alright. I'm gonna try something. XL. Alright. Then what is this line connected to? Nothing? Can I XL? Like nothing? Eat out in space? That's one face right there, and that's all that needs to be. And then somehow it's divided there? Like, nah, not doesn't need to be that. No. Like, delete, dissolve edges. Like, thank you? Why are these dots not matching up? What's up with that? It really is like an upper piece that just kind of like bent down. Yeah, it's so weird other shape. It shouldn't take several hours to make something like this. It really just shouldn't. I guess if I put, yeah, all right. So I'm thinking here to myself, if I put an edge loop on the top, I put an edge loop on the top and then I moved it to like the side here, and then I put another edge loop to the other part, and then I like bridge them together into like a curve, I could just move that curve into the basic shape that I need it to be. I could do that. Lots of stuff learned. Okay. Well, alright, I'll keep going on that. It's like actually done. Oh, except for the top, that's not finished. Yeah, that was something I should have kept. Yeah, the back end isn't fixed like that. No, for the handguards themselves are fine. They're done correctly. Okay. So what I want to do next is I want to like UV map it, and I'm going to need to project both of these images onto it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, holy crap. Next time I just need to extrude sides and just give like a basic outline and then cut into it later. This stuff crazy. Still giving a convex shape around. Now I see why stuff resizes from the center. Yeah.